people, thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is Janine, also known as J.Stella, and today's video is going to be on a drugstore foundation review. So I actually got the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro-matte line. This is the demi-matte finish in shade 102 Shell Beige. I also got the Infallible Pro-matte 16-hour powder in nude beige 300, and then if you caught my Ulta video, I'll link it in the cards and in the description box below. I actually got this little bad boy, the Infallible Longwear shaving stick in shade 410 Cocoa, to do my contour for like $1.49. This usually goes for like almost $12, so that was a really good find. Hope you guys get to watch it. So if you like what my foundation looks like, let's get right into it.
And so as always, you want to prep your skin and moisturize it really well, especially with the demi-matte finish or matte finish foundation, like the one that I'm going to be using today. I like to use my ring finger because it is said to have the least amount of pressure. So when you're applying your eye cream to your under eye that's really delicate, it actually makes it a little bit better. So that's a nice little pro tip for you guys. Next, I go in with the Aveeno MaxGlow drops, and this is kind of like a primer as well. And I mix it in with moisturizer. I will link all the products down below. Make sure my skin is nice and hydrated and luminous. So here we have the Pro Matte foundation. Now keep in mind there is a Pro Glow. So this one is super matte, the other one is a little bit lighter. So it looks like I'm applying it like crazy all over my face, but believe me, I have a method to my madness. I go in with my Real Techniques brush and I kind of paint my face, and then I go in with the Real Techniques sponge to kind of give that airbrush finish. Now it says demi matte, but I will tell you it is very matte, so it kind of gives your face a very flat finish, which is why I like to moisturize and give that luminosity from under, but you can always play around with that as well. Another thing that I noticed about this foundation is I did wear it all day. It lasts all day, but if you are prone to have oily skin, I have combination skin, but if you are prone to have oily skin, you will need to blot throughout the day. It does say 24 hours, but at the end of the day, we have to remember this is a drugstore foundation. So for the price point, you really can't like ask for way too much, in the sense that like it lasts a pretty good amount of time without leaving your skin looking all crazy or cakey and creasy, which is what I really liked about this one. I will say that I applied this one and I did not use any baking or setting powders for this, so I really just wanted to see what it would look like if I just applied the foundation and some concealer, and that's it. So of course you gotta go back in and blend in with a damp, this one is the Real Techniques Miracle Sponge. I love this one. I kind of use it for everything. So I love using the sponge because it always leaves me with a nice airbrush finish. It takes away any little lines or creases that brush may leave behind. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the color match is pretty perfect. Check out my neck and my face, like it almost blends in perfectly. So then next I go in with the Infallible Longwear foundation stick, and this one actually has SPF in it. It does say that the coverage is buildable to full, but I like to use this one because it's a little bit creamier than the demi matte finish one. It just gives my face a little bit more warmth and color, which I like because the demi matte left my face a little bit flat. And I love this shade. I feel like it blended in really well. I actually started contouring my lips, just adding a little bit of that brown on the outside. It makes that illusion of them looking a little bit fuller because my upper lip is a little small, but that's the beauty of makeup. So next I go in with the 20,000th miracle sponge that I have. I have like 5,000 of them, and I start blending away. It blends in super easily on that demi matte Infallible foundation. It gives me a nice warm color, a nice blended sun-kissed look instead of that very flat look that I initially had. So I actually don't mind mixing foundations. These are actually from the same line, which is great. So they're both Infallible. And I love how creamy the foundation stick is because the demi matte finish one is very dry and flat. So adding a little bit more of that bronziness, a little bit more of that contoured look will help bring that look in together and look more natural, because nobody wants to look like a porcelain doll. You know, you just want to look as natural as possible. And one place that I always contour is my nose and my cheeks. I feel like it makes me look a little skintier, and that's kind of like my whole goal with it. So far I feel like it looks so good, and that's that I haven't even set it with any powder. Like, look how beautiful that blended into my skin, guys. So I am loyal to my Shape Tape concealer, but feel free to use whichever other one you have. This is not a drugstore one, but I like to draw my concealer in a triangular shape under my eyes. I was going to use the Maybelline Magic Eraser Concealer. That one is another favorite of mine, but I actually ran out. So, you know, sometimes you just got to work with what you have, and in this case I had the Shape Tape Concealer. Now, I will tell you guys, I don't go for a color that is super, super white. I feel like that looks fake, and when you take pictures, you end up looking like a raccoon. So when you're looking for a concealer, I would recommend, in my opinion, to look for a shade that's maybe like 2 shades lighter at the most than your natural skin. My whole thing with makeup is that sometimes you just want to make it look as blended in and as natural as possible, and I feel like I accomplished that with this whole look. So now I'm going to set it with the Infallible Pro-matte powder, and this is all I use. I'm not using any baking, anything, just using this powder to set it in to my skin. I like to use a big fluffy brush, and a tip is to never do an upward motion with a fluffy brush or your powder because it'll stick to your hair and then you'll look dusty. So of course you gotta finish your look with a little bit of highlighter. This is a Dose of Colors Milk and Honey. I love this highlighter because it's really subtle. It's not in your face, beaming. Now of course if you want to do that you can. And I go in next with a little bit of blush. I always like to do my highlighter first and then the blush. I feel like it blends in better. And the blush that I'm using is one from Lancome. It's called Blush Subtil, which definitely is the name. It's very subtle. It's not in your face, but it gives a little bit of color, and I always like to go in and add a little bit to my nose as well so that everything looks cohesive and put together. And after you're done with all of your powders and everything, go in with a setting spray. I happen to have the MAC Prep and Prime one here to set my face, but I also have a NYX one, and I just always like to go in with a little bit of spray to set my face because it just makes it last so much longer and give a good finish. So off camera I did add the lashes and some lipstick, and I filled in my eyebrows a little bit, but that was the only different thing that I did. Everything regarding the foundation and the powders is everything that you saw in the video. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this look. I think it's beautiful, and for the price you cannot beat it.
So there you guys have it, my Infallible Pro Matte line on the face. It looks amazing. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. Give me a thumbs up, a like, or better yet, drop a comment. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. And yeah guys, I will see you guys next week. Have a good one.